Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we have got some crazy stories to cover. Stick around to the end and you'll get to see an actual update on the Gerald the Dolphin story. There have actually been some very interesting developments in the whole guy getting kidnapped by dolphins to build an underground bunker situation. And outside of that, we've probably got one of the most important warnings that the general public needs to see in any video I've ever put out. Don't forget to hit like or leave a comment if you want my videos to continue to show up in your YouTube feed. But now that we've got that out of the way, let's get after it.
Generating 5 seconds of AI video uses the same amount of energy as running your microwave for over an hour. So these researchers at Hugging Face and MIT just broke down exactly how much power AI actually uses, and the numbers that they just found are insane. Asking a chatbot just one single question uses anywhere from 1/10 of a second to 8 seconds of microwave energy depending on the model. That may sound like nothing at first, but then they tested video. Generating a single 5-second AI video clip uses 3.4 million joules of energy, which is 700 times more than generating one image. And here's the part that genuinely doesn't make sense, because a 6-second video doesn't use a little more than a 3-second video, it uses 4 times more. Now this is what makes it actually matter, because they calculated what a normal day of AI use looks like beyond one person. 15 questions, 10 images, and 3 5-second videos, and the total energy cost from that is 2.9 kilowatt hours. That is the equivalent of the energy from your microwave at home running for 3.5 hours straight, but that's all calculated from one person in one day. And I guarantee you're probably using AI more than that. So the question really is, what do you think about this? And how often do you use AI?
And for anyone who can see this information and still doesn't grasp the concept of they're lying about global warming, they care nothing about saving the planet, I just don't know what to tell them. It's so obvious with all the moves they're making versus the actual propaganda they feed us. They could care less if the entire planet collapses, so long as they get to be the ones to own it and they figure out some way to monetize it. And who's paying for all this energy? Because there are tons of websites right now where you can sign up for less than $20 a month and make tons of AI videos that I can only assume are going to cost you more than $20 a month worth of electricity if you're calculating it off of what a microwave is using. And there's no profit in these AI models. The last I looked, still not one of these AI companies who actually create the AI itself have found a way to turn it into a profitable product. That can only mean there is a hidden agenda behind all of this. And keep in mind, these elites are willing to lose a lot of money if it means in the end they're going to gain a lot of control. And something else to think about too, we've been hearing for decades that our power grid needs to be completely redone. It's not going to be able to handle this kind of load. We're already seeing risks of water shortages in certain areas in the United States because of these big AI warehouses. They're going to let these AI companies completely deplete every resource we have, and all of us are going to be left with nothing. We're literally watching our politicians pass laws talking about how we need to save the environment. We all need to be using paper straws and driving electric cars, and the whole time they're doing everything they can to completely annihilate every natural resource we have.
Hey, so I was just researching a bunch of weird things, right, about like digital IDs and like this entire like CBDCs. And one thing I realized is that a lot of people don't understand that CBDCs will actually be programmable. And we're also switching everything from barcodes, like on all of our items in stores and stuff like that, to QR codes. So if the CBDCs will be programmable and the QR codes will actually give more information, that means they can program your money on what you're allowed to spend it on and what you're not allowed to spend it on. Now it gets even more weird. I started to realize that they want to microchip all of us, and they want to make it so that in order for you to get a job or keep a job, you get microchipped, and 13 US states decided to ban it, even if it's voluntary. Let me just show you. March 2026, at least 13 U.S. states have enacted laws prohibiting employers from making human microchip implants mandatory for employees. These preemptive bans, often targeting subcutaneous, I don't know how to pronounce that, dudes. English is my 5th language. Hold on, I think my husband knows. How do you pronounce that?
I think it's subcutaneous or something.
Oh, subcutaneous RFID technology used for building access or tracking includes Alabama, Arkansas, California, Indiana, Missouri, Montana, Nevada, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Utah, Wisconsin, and now Washington. And these are laws apparently that will protect bodily autonomy and prevent employers from forcing workers to undergo chipping to access technology, open secure doors, or log into usually when they do preemptive things like that, that means companies actually thought about doing this. That's the scary part. So now add digital IDs, add programmable CBDC monies, and now add that employers can actually force you to be microchipped in order to be employed, to have access to like paychecks and stuff like that. Don't you think that they're building a digital prison? Like, is it starting to make sense now?
There's going to be a lot of us starving to death. I know a lot of you are like me, and you will under no circumstances allow them to put a chip inside of you. I don't care if I'm having to catch and eat rats. They're not putting some implantable in my body. If for nothing more than the sheer number of times they've lied to us about a product that we all willingly go out and purchase because we're told it's safe, and then we later find out that it was literally causing us to go into the grave early. Whether it's medication, a medical procedure, something that was mandated by the government, even most of the food that's on the store shelves when you go to Walmart to get groceries is not good for you. It would be one thing if occasionally we came across a product that we just didn't have the understanding we needed to have on it before it hit shelves. The problem is they know all of these issues before they release things to the market, and they still choose to do so. And some of this stuff is so bad for us that it kind of leaves you no room to do anything other than just assume that they wanted you to suffer the negative consequences from using that product. Who in their right mind would believe these people when they tell us that there's no harm in getting these implantables? Even if you see them chip themselves, they're going to be chipped with something that is not the same thing they're trying to stick in us. Their chips are not going to have all the functionality and all the features and all of the bad stuff in it that our chips are going to have. They're just going to have a similar shape and size. That way it can look like they're also doing it too. I can't help but to be reminded of a specific video that we all watched with Joe Biden sitting on stage with a nurse. A nurse who did not follow proper protocol whenever she did what she was doing in the video, and who was clearly there for show. Like with everything else, you just can't trust these people.
CPD, open up. We need to ask you a couple questions.
Can I help you?
CPD, we need to ask you a couple questions.
I'm sorry?
CPD, we need to ask you a couple questions. May you please step to the front door, please?
CPD.
Yes, this is CPD. We would like you to step to the door, please.
Can I see a badge?
We would like you to step to the door, please, sir. I don't have to show you my badge, sir.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay. CPD, open the door.
Boy, if that ain't two of the smartest guys I've ever seen in my life. Clearly on camera, pulling their masks down. What was the point in even wearing them? And they're trying to get this homeowner to come to the door while they're clearly holding a weapon in their hand. And this is not how the police department rolls up to your house whenever they need to speak to someone. Even officers who aren't in uniform don't show up with a hoodie and a mask over their face. But the reason I put this video in here is I'm probably coming across 10 or 12 of these videos like this every single day. I don't know what the cause is in the sudden extreme increase in this type of activity, but you could sit and watch clips of this all day long and never see the same one twice. It is happening that much. And anyone who's trying to gain entry to your home, knowing that you're inside, they're not just there to steal something. They're either there to hurt you, end your life, or hurt someone else who's in the house. If they just wanted your stuff, they could wait outside until they see you leave the house for a couple hours, then just run around back and break a window or something. But if you're a woman, you need to be especially careful about this type of activity. With all the videos that I've seen, it seems like About 90% of it are guys trying to gain access to a house with a female who's living alone. And these people will show up and claim to be police officers, claim to be UPS. You just can't open the door for anyone. If it's not someone you're expecting or someone that you actually recognize, keep the door locked. Tell them that if it's that important that they need to see you, they can wait until the police arrive and talk to you through them. If it's that important, they won't mind waiting. We're going to watch another clip that's similar to this. Just listen how brazen these people are.
Hi.
Yeah.
What's up?
Your package, you have to sign for it. You have to come outside and sign the package.
What's the name under?
It's this residence. This is 62 Ashford, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sign the package, please. You have to come out and sign it.
That's not my package.
Like, look, I don't know what you want me to do with it. What do you want?
This is odd.
Why is this odd?
That's not my package.
This is your
Who are you?
Wait, who are you?
No, who are you and why are you on my property? That's not my package. Have you been going around door to door doing this to people?
I'm sharing you this video so you see how serious this is, okay? Now, this woman actually opened the door but left the glass door closed. I wouldn't even do that. If you have to speak to them and you don't have like a Ring cam or something, do it through the window. Don't let them see it. Don't raise the blinds. Do it through the blinds. And you can still get the point across that you're not opening the door. Do not, and I repeat, do not ever open the door for someone simply because they say you need to sign for a package. If you're not expecting the package, if the package is not, they can't tell you your name, you leave that door closed, you immediately call 911 and you get arrested. You could tell by the tone of his voice he had been trying to do this a bunch and was unsuccessful. And they're not scared about their faces being seen. You want to know why? Because the minute they get someone to open that door, they're going to snatch your up and then you're gone forever and they ain't got to worry about you reporting them. So please share this with everyone out there. Let them see what's going on, because a lot of people believe this stuff doesn't really happen. It happens all the time. Sadly, it's the world we live in.
Not only is it happening enough that I can sit and watch videos like this all day long, but think about the people who weren't alive, who weren't left to post the video that they may have gotten. Think about the people who opened the door and didn't even suspect anything. There was that viral clip that went around not too long ago where people showed up in uniform pretending to be for UPS or FedEx or somebody and gained access to someone's house and just wiped out an entire family. And we've got reports of men dressing up as ICE agents, going into a restaurant in broad daylight and just snatching up women. Things are getting way out of hand. I've got a wife and 4 children. Seeing stuff like this absolutely terrifies me. Luckily, I'm home most of the time. I make these videos full time. This is what I spend my entire day working on. So I'm almost always at the house if my family is here. But I'm scared that I could be filming one of these videos or something and my wife gets a knock on the front door thinking it's UPS, opens it, and then I never see her again. So you best believe I'm sharing all of these videos with her every time I come across one. But everyone needs to be aware of this, and everyone also needs to be aware of the fact that somehow these people are getting legitimate uniforms. Just check out this next clip.
So I know y'all read the caption. There was a box full of NYPD uniforms found. All I'm gonna say to this is remember the UPS situation with the family. Keep your family safe. If you didn't call the cops, don't open the door to the cops. Because this right here, I'm not feeling it right now. So teach your kids, y'all stay safe, because I don't know what's going on in New York. And don't only think it's New York.
Again, somehow these people are getting real police uniforms, real UPS coats. They're showing up, knocking on people's doors and gaining access to their homes because they look like they're legit. And most people assume if it was somebody who was up to no good, they would have their face covered. But like that guy said a couple clips back, if they don't expect you to make it through the end of the day, they're not going to be worried about you seeing their face. But I'll quit hammering on this subject. I just felt like everyone needs to be made aware of this. The thought that you could come home from work one day and one of your kids are gone because they answered the door to the wrong person, there's not much that's more terrifying than that. Everybody, please be careful.
Listen up. I'm telling y'all, there is a new article out every day about the end times. We got Netanyahu saying we will reach the Messiah's return. We got IDF soldiers wearing patches of the Third Temple. We got a Catholic priest warning the stage is set for the rise of the Antichrist. We got the PLO warning against Passover sacrifice on Temple Mount. So apparently the Jays are trying to sacrifice again. We got Israel 365 news saying the Messiah is coming this year and the war with Iran is the proof. We got IDF soldiers wearing patches with the Greater Israel on it. If you don't know what that is, there's the map. Got to get rid of all that in the middle. We got Benjamin Netanyahu announcing that he is creating the right conditions for the Messiah to come while Israel transforms into a superpower. And while all this is going on, what we've been saying for years looks like it's coming. Trump's UFO release could include videos, photos of non-human craft, proving we aren't alone. Why? Because Satan knows he's running out of time, and they're going to have to explain away why so many people disappeared. It's amazing to me how many Christians are out there sleeping. Pastors aren't even talking about this, and that's crazy to me because it's all over the news. There's even rabbis saying this is the year their Messiah comes. So if they think their Messiah is coming, we know who that really is. And that means tribulation could start any day now. And this year would make sense when we have Apophis, the asteroid, coming in 2029, which would be around the 3.5 mark. On February the 17th, it started the year of the horse in China, which would make perfect sense if the horsemen are about to appear. And if you know about the horsemen, then you know that there is war, which equals death. That war is going to cause famine, and famine is going to cause sickness. And if you've been paying attention, the war is stopping shipments of oil and fertilizer. We need fertilizer to grow food. Everything seems to be lining up. If you do not have a relationship with Jesus, you need to get one today. The Bible says that if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that he died, was buried, and rose again for the remission of your sins, you will be saved.
Amen.
Don't wait until it's too late.
I think probably one of the most fascinating aspects of digging into all the stuff that we look at on a regular basis is, and I didn't notice this until I started making these YouTube videos, but almost everything that you could dig into, almost everything that we're being lied to about, it all points to the same thing, that these Luciferian, devil-worshipping elites are all trying to hide Christ from the general public. We're being lied to about space exploration. We're being lied to about the shape of the Earth. We're being lied to about giants. We're being lied to about what some of these massive flat top mountains really are, or what they really used to be. We're being lied to about aliens, because if the general public knew the truth on any of these topics, it would point them undeniably toward Jesus Christ. And if we were all Christians, true Christians, then we would all have a major problem with the way they're running things. We wouldn't allow it. But most people are asleep behind the wheel. Even a lot of people who claim to be Christians are asleep behind the wheel. And I get that not everybody can look into all this stuff, and most people are not going to be able to look into it as much as I do because I'm literally doing it for a living. But if someone were to just pick one of those topics that I just mentioned and dig into just that one thing, it would point them back toward Jesus. If they looked at the actual evidence, but everybody's just believing what they've been told. No one wants to look at the evidence and come to their own conclusions anymore. Everyone thinks you're a nut job if you don't just automatically trust the science or trust the experts. I think someone's being ignorant if they don't at least look at the evidence and come to their own conclusion. Even if the conclusion that they come to is that there is no Christ, at least then they can say they looked at it for themselves. But anyone who actually looks at the evidence and is honest with themselves about what they're seeing, they're not going to come to that conclusion. I almost wonder if some people are scared about what they may find if they start digging into this stuff. But we are clearly barreling down on our last days. If this is something you haven't looked into, I cannot implore you enough. It is not important to me for my pride that someone else think the same way that I think. But I know the only thing that you can take with you when you leave this world is other people. So if you haven't researched and you're undecided on this, please, you are running out of time. Now, this next clip is going to be a short recap of a story that we covered maybe roughly a week ago. Just to fill in any of you who have not heard about this story yet, it's probably one of the most insane things I've ever heard in over 550 videos. But there's been a major development in this situation. I'm just going to let the clip explain itself and then we'll talk about it.
Florida man claims to have been kidnapped by dolphins and forced to build an underwater city. The man was found early Monday morning on the side of a beach in Lee County, soaking wet, dehydrated, and confused. When deputies arrived, he was drawing detailed diagrams in the sand. According to the man, a pod of dolphins took him while he was swimming and brought him to a place about 40 feet under the surface. He said they forced him to help build underwater structures. He told deputies the dolphins communicated with him using clicks. He said the group had a leader named Gerald who somehow helped him breathe underwater, possibly by creating an airspace. The man spent 3 days working on what he described as cities, towns, and condo-like structures. When the dolphins were satisfied with his work, they sent him back to the surface and told him they would return for phase 2. Medical staff treated him for dehydration, but found no signs of head injury or mental confusion. Tests showed seawater and marine particles in his lungs, suggesting he had been deep underwater for a long time without typical lung damage. This was unusual and raised questions for doctors. The man holds a master's degree in aerospace engineering and has experience with deep sea technology, which he says is why the dolphins chose him. Some people think the story is false, but the physical evidence has made others curious. Let me know what you think.
So a guy with a master's degree who shows no evidence of drug use, no evidence of a concussion or any kind of head trauma, doesn't show any other signs of being mentally unwell, and he gives authorities probably the craziest line of bull I've ever heard in my entire life, fully expecting them to believe it. I thought for sure when I first heard this story that this was just some guy playing some sort of a prank or something on the general public and wanted to see how far the story would spread. But all of these details have apparently been verified, and the plot thickens. There is more to the story.
The government is trying to hide the fact that Gerald the dolphin does exist and did kidnap that man. This is the most insane thing I've ever said. A lot of people from Lee County, Florida are sending me videos of the area where it allegedly happened. And I grew up in Florida, so I understand crazy is crazy because I saw crazy when I lived there, and crazy is crazy. And there are helicopters landing on islands, there are FBI agents, there are a lot of people investigating the situation. I once had a conversation with a manatee, but it didn't try to kidnap me. Now, why would there be government officials investigating a situation if it wasn't real? How many licks does it take till you get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know. Gerald the dolphin is real, and they're getting ready for phase 2. Inquisitive minds just want to know, how are they going to find him for phase 2 unless he goes back to the beach?
Now, I've just got a couple of things here that I'd like to talk about. For one, if they're actually investigating this as if it was an actual event, if they're genuinely taking this serious, that would kind of imply that they had some knowledge before this event that would make something like this believable to them, which may explain why they've led us all to believe that it's illegal to talk to dolphins. And think about all of the scientific experiments that they've done in history with dolphins. They've literally tried to communicate with them in the past. They've tried to train them to maneuver into hard to get to areas in the ocean with explosives strapped around them. They've done a lot of crazy stuff with dolphins. And it was just about, a month ago that we saw another sighting of the Montauk monster, that crazy hairless, half pig, half dog looking thing that washed up on the shore. We've seen now at least 3 different occasions that I'm aware of where that specific, very, very distinct looking creature was caught on video. And it's clear when you look at the other videos that all 3 videos show the exact same creature. Some completely unknown specimen that looks like some major atrocity to the animal kingdom. I can't help but to assume that somewhere they're doing some sort of experiment where they're manipulating animals' DNA and doing all these genetic experiments on them, and they're creating these things. And we know they're working on cloning technology. We know that they're working on this CRISPR stuff. And before they do anything with humans, they test it out on animals first. We should all remember, because it hasn't been that long ago, that before they put the first Neuralink into a human being, they were putting it in pigs and reading their brainwaves. What if they've put some new technology into a dolphin and it escaped out into the wild? Maybe they made this thing too smart. And being a dolphin, it wouldn't be completely outside the realm of possibility that if it suddenly understands language, that it could learn to communicate with humans, which it would have been trained probably to do in the lab. And then at the same time, it figures out a way to communicate with other dolphins that was previously unheard of, because it's just working with a whole new level of intelligence now. I know that's a lot of maybes. I know it would take a wild stretch of the imagination to get on board with this idea. But with all the crazy experiments that our government's done in the past, it's not outside the realm of possibility. It could be that when this guy made the statement to the papers that this dolphin that abducted him's name was Gerald, that could have triggered triggered an investigation from some secret government group that was working on genetic mutations or experiments for dolphins, and they happened to lose one with that name. How many movies have we heard of with this plot in it? And how many times have you heard that these people in Hollywood never have an original idea? All they know how to do is steal and rewrite things. So it wouldn't be that hard to believe that maybe all these sci-fi stories came from other people's real life experiences, and it's just been kept quiet. It's never been leaked out into the public. They show us everything else they're doing in movies, but I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know what I believe in regards to this story. I think the whole thing is fascinating. It's probably one of the most interesting stories that I've come across in the entirety of this YouTube channel. Just the fact of how wild of a story it is, how detailed it is, and that there's actually evidence to support what this guy is saying. It's absolutely mind-blowing. But you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about it. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. Don't forget to hit like and comment if you want my videos to continue to show up in your YouTube feed. Thank you again for watching these videos. Thank you all so much for all the support that you've given me over the last 2.5 years. This ride has been an absolute blast. I love making these videos and I love reading you guys' comments. But God willing, I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I hope you come back to join me. I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one.